So completely understand your prospect's needs and values. So how do we do that? By vomiting features, by telling them as much as possible, or by engaging with them. You see, engagement is about meaningful questions. Engagement is about asking open-ended questions. Engagement is about digging deeper using linchpin questions. Engagement is about really digging deeper with Ted. Tell me more, explain, describe. And now we have a full understanding. Now our prospects see that we really have their best interests at heart. Because ultimately, what are we looking to do? It's connection, right? We're looking to connect what we have to offer with what their needs and expectations are. And we can't do that until we've dug really deep to get a complete understanding. And I always love the example, it's probably the most descriptive example of the car salesperson, where they're talking about the car. And the guy says, now I arrived on my motorcycle, I'm worried about my safety. You see, yes, the car does accelerate 0 to 100 in 6 seconds. But what they want to hear about is, tell me about the safety features of this car. And similar situation, if they had said, well, the first person I'll show the car to is my uncle, he has a Maserati, he's all about performance. I'm not going to be telling them about airbags. Yeah, the car has airbags, but I'm going to be telling them about performance and kilowatts and the size of the engine and the acceleration, etc. So that's the secret, is for us to successfully close a sale, is for us to discover exactly what part. I mean, we've got a whole lot of benefits and features, but not all of them matter to every customer. And we need to narrow it down to the point that we completely understand. Because remember, our customers don't need to know 4,000 things about your product, which we love vomiting, and we think they do. They need to know only 3 to 5. But the secret, and this is the art of linchpin questions and the art of open-ended and the art of open-up questions, is for us to be able to dig down and for us to be able to say, okay, so you only need to know, for you to make an emotional purchase decision, or should I rather say, for you to be in a modality where you want to buy, where there's a buying atmosphere, I need to be able to describe to you in terms of what you need, specifically only 3 to 5 things. But the art is which 3 to 5 things. And that's the reason we need to be so clever, so empowered, so engaged with our customers that we can uncover just 3 to 5 benefits, the 3 to 5 parts of our value proposition that matter to them. Because that is how we can communicate precisely how our value proposition will help. You see, it's all about precision helping. We want to be sure that we can, with absolute precision, serve our customers, with absolute precision, engage with our customers, with absolute precision, ensure that there's a modality of fair exchange. And the moment we can do that, now we're in a really powerful position to what? Support, help, engage with, nurture the most incredible long-term mutually beneficial relationship, and ultimately build an unforgettable customer experience. So what's it all about? It's all about engagement. It's all about asking those meaningful, open-ended questions. And where does it all start? Well, it all starts, let's just rewind. Remember, it all goes right back to you understanding, what is it that I sell really? And when I say, and I ask you the question, what is it that you sell? What I'm really asking you is, how does your product serve your customer? What does your product do for your customer? Because once you know what your product does for your customer, you're then able to identify your perfect customer. When you have your perfect customer, now when you go to see them, you have this funnel, right? So you have an understanding. You've researched them. You've prepared for the meeting. You've sent an agenda ahead of time. You're prepared with, what is my next step after this meeting? So you've done all this preparation. You now go to the meeting. Your objective in the meeting is to funnel, to dig down, dig all the way down. You start asking open-ended questions. You move on to linchpin questions, which are there to engage the customer, to make the customer stop and think, or to support the customer to look at things from your perspective, to help the customer to maybe answer or to see, well, I haven't quite thought about it like that before, to start building your linchpin questions. What did you do? You looked at your unique selling proposition, right? So you look at what makes your product unique and special, and then you build specific questions. So as you're digging down, you're helping the customer to start to think, to start to see things from your perspective, to start to see that the value that you bring is aligned with what they're actually looking for. So as you're digging, it's open-ended questions, linchpin questions, and then you move down to TED, or those open-up questions, where you say, tell me more, explain, describe, and constantly be taking the conversation back to your customers. Remember, we want our customers to speak 80% of the time, and we want to be speaking. And when I say speaking, I'm talking about engaging with our customers, explaining, describing, and mostly asking meaningful questions so that we can completely understand their value. So when we start speaking to our customers, right, how do we ensure that we don't go off in this monologue? Bearing in mind, we love speaking about ourselves, right? So to avoid speaking about ourselves, there's a couple of techniques that we use. And those techniques, firstly, well, try to speak for no longer than 30 seconds. So you speak for 30 seconds, and before you get to a minute, already try to figure out, okay, so how can I put this back at the customer? When the customer asks questions, make sure that you try and answer in single sentences. Always look for feedback and confirmation. So constantly allow the conversation to go back to the customer in terms of, okay, so this is what we can do. How will that serve you? Is that what you're looking for, etc., right? The next thing we need to say is, okay, so what other techniques can we actually use? Well, we can stop, ask for feedback. So there's a whole number of ways that we need to constantly be working to get our customers to speak more and us to speak less. And remember, how do we know when our customers are starting to disengage from us? Well, their feet face the door, their body faces away from you, they become agitated, their eyes start shifting, maybe they stare at you, their eyelids start to drop. So there's a whole lot of cues that we can see if we're boring our customers to death. And remember, those physical cues or body language cues appear 9 seconds before the person actively disengages from you mentally. So let's strive to arrive prepared. We strive to arrive at the right customer, seeing the right decision maker who needs exactly what we need. And then we slowly but surely funnel that information down by asking engaging, meaningful questions, and we unlock how our value proposition, in other words, we unlock how our value proposition is aligned with what they need, so we can actually do what we call precision helping. Because once we completely understand the alignment of what they need with what we offer, now we can precisely communicate how those two are aligned. Excellent, well done.